So if you want a trip that slows down time, this is it.
Who wouldn't want to start their morning like this?
It's light, it's fluffy, it's delicious. I've been living in Italy for 20 years, and I'm gonna say it. Here it is. Rome is overrated. Now, before the Colosseum comes crashing down on me and every Roman in the comments calls me a heretic, hear me out. I'm not saying don't go to Rome, but I'm just saying there's a better way to experience Italy. Because most tourists land in Rome, shuffle past the Trevi Fountain with 5,000 of their closest friends, eat an overpriced plate of carbonara at 19 euro, and leave thinking they've seen Italy, but they haven't. So today, I'm gonna tell you about those places I'd rather go instead. Places where the coffee's stronger, the food's cheaper, and the crowds, well, they're mostly local grandmas. And later in the video, I'll tell you about that region, that one place I avoided forever, but ended up changing how I see Italy. Are you ready? Let's go. Naples, the chaos, the pizza, the realness. If I could do just one thing in Naples, hold on, I'll get to that. I know what you're thinking. If Rome is overwhelming, why are you sending us to Naples? But here's the thing. Naples is chaotic in a good way. It feels alive, it's real, it's Italy, it's the Italy that you want. No polish, no filter. It's Italy unfiltered, double espresso strength. So you don't get a sterilized museum city. You get street art, shouting fishmongers, and pizza, some of the best pizza in your whole life for only 4 euro. Alleys that look like movie sets from the 1800s. Naples, where even the coffee has attitude and will judge you if you order a cappuccino past 11 a.m. So what's that one thing I would do if I could only do one thing in Naples? Probably be a pizza, but on a recent trip, and I'll get to it here later in the video, I didn't have much time at all. So I parked my car there by the water, ran into the nearest bar, a coffee shop, and Salvatore served me up some of the finest and strongest coffee you could ever imagine. That followed by a sfogliatella pastry. Oh yeah, chef's kiss. Puglia, my southern escape. Rome has palaces and piazzas, but in Puglia, you're gonna find golden hour sunsets, truly homes, and 90-year-olds inviting you into their gardens to try their homemade olive oil. No exaggeration, this happened. Recently, I took my sister and her family on a trip down south. We drove from Florence down to Puglia, stayed in this little town called Cisternino, rented a villa with the pool, and usually every evening my brother-in-law would make a spritz there at the poolside bar. He said, looking back on his whole Italian vacation, that part down in Puglia was his best ever memory. And not just Puglia, but there at the villa, relaxing by the pool, drinking a spritz. And you know what? I agree with him. So if you want a trip that slows down time, this is it. Wake up late, eat slowly, talk with the locals, and reflect on why you booked your vacation in the first place. Rome has traffic jams and angry horns. Puglia, tractors, and olive groves for days. I know where I'd rather be stuck. Talking about Puglia makes me think of a story, something that happened recently. Look, just like packing the right clothes for your vacation, you also want to pack peace of mind with the right travel medical insurance. I was recently in Lecce on a big road trip, and I went into an alimentari, a little grocery store, supermarket, and I was hungry. I needed some food, so I went into the bakery there. Inside this alimentari, they sold water as well. I got a couple bottles of water, a couple rolls of bread with tomatoes and stuff inside. Paid, went out, on my way. You know, I'm hungry, I eat a lot. So I start walking, get one of those rolls out of the bag, or bite right into it. Hungry Gregor Brown. Oh. Well, inside the bread, there was an unpitted olive, and I bit right into it. Sharp pain right away, and I was feeling around with my tooth there on the bottom, the third one in. My tooth was cracked, and half of it was falling off. This was a disaster, and there was pain. I could feel open nerves and just, so I needed to get a dentist muy pronto. So I went around, and this local pointed on his phone on Google Maps a dentist he usually goes to. Thank you. So I called, and she said she was about ready to close, but she was gonna stay open an extra 30 minutes so I could walk and go there. It was a medical emergency, and she performed this urgent procedure. The tooth, well, half of it, as I said, it was cracked, and she had to take that off and fill in the rest, cover those nerve endings so I didn't have as much pain. There was still a little bit of pain, but she sorted it out, and Gregor Brown was able to continue his trip around Italy. Thank you to that dentist and travel medical insurance. I don't want to have you get caught without, which is why for this video I partnered with Safety Wing. Their Nomad Insurance Essential covers you for things like this: dental emergencies, repatriation, or even things like lost luggage and trip delays. My friend Nick, who lives full-time year-round in Bangkok, could benefit from their complete coverage. Now that offers things like routine medical visits and extended travel protection. Oh, there's things you can add on to that essential plan as well, like an adventure sport package. Think hang gliding in the Dolomites, or freestyle skiing, or electronic theft protection. And I could use that with all my camera gear that I travel with, drones, etc. And believe me, I've been in some dodgy places around Europe. Look, I don't want you to get caught out, and I want you to consider this when you're planning for your trip to Italy or anywhere you go in the world. So just like the right clothes, think of travel medical insurance. There's a link down below in the description for more information. Sicily, the Italy you actually dreamed of. This isn't tourists wandering around Rome pretending to be an eat, pray, love. Every time I see soft, sappy movies like that, I just want to barf. But Sicily is real drama. Volcanoes, mafia history, Baroque architecture, Greek ruins, and food that makes Rome look like a sad airport lounge. So if you want full body goosebumps, consider wandering Ortigia in the early morning light, or hiking Mount Etna. Sicily is full sensory overload, but in a good way. If Italy was a movie, well, Sicily would be that twist ending that wins an Oscar. Quick Sicilian reflection on skinny dipping in the Med. If there's ever a time to do it, well, that's Ferragosto, the 15th of August, with fireworks going off overhead, reflecting on the water as you're hopped up on a couple Moretti beers. Hell, you know what? Any time of the year is a good time for that. The Dolomites, alpine magic. You know what? Rome gets sweaty by 9 a.m., but up in the Dolomites, you wake up with fresh air, alpine silence, and views so clear you'll question your life choices. So whether you go through Verona, Bolzano, or Cortina, this region is a full-on fairy tale.
Who wouldn't want to start their morning like this?
So if your dream of Italy involves cows, wine, and hiking through picture books, this is where you go. You know, in Rome, you climb stairs to get to the top of ruins. In the Dolomites, you hike trails to get to the top and view the heavens. You can base yourself where I did in Selva di Val Gardena. I woke up every morning, laced up my Asics running shoes, ran through the meadows, Dolomites towering above me, no crowds, just the sounds of cowbells and the fresh alpine air blowing around me. Pure bliss. So if you want a slice of this Italian wonderland for yourself, book yourself up in the Dolomites from May through to July if you want to experience the hiking in the best weather, or perhaps in September, October, but don't leave it too late in the winter. There you can sip Lagreen wine, eat the speck, enjoy the dumplings, and if you're feeling ambitious, maybe try the 7-day hike, the Camino Retico, 170 kilometers, 7 villages, no stress, no crowds, just relaxation and the Dolomites at its best. Hello? Yes? What's that? You want Tuscany without the crowds? I got you covered. Everyone goes to Florence and San Gimignano, but just south of Siena, you'll hit the Val d'Orcia. There you'll find rolling hills, medieval towns, and views so stunning they don't require editing. So instead of elbowing your way through a wine bar to get that overpriced glass of Chianti, you're sipping Brunello di Montalcino with locals who still call you straniero with a smile. Rome sells the Italian dream. Southern Tuscany is the dream. So where should you actually go? Montalcino. Brunello runs through this town like blood through Italian veins. Sip it, swirl it, and pretend you know what notes of leather actually means. San Corico. Tiny, timeless, and absurdly photogenic. It's like they created this medieval town just for your Instagram reel, but forgot to invite the influencers. Bagno Vignoni. Think of it as a Roman spa day, but with fewer togas and more silence. The town square looks like a thermal pool. I'm not joking. Montepulciano, there with views that are so fabulous from the hilltop village perched up above. These views will make you question your life choices, whether or not you should sell everything, move to Italy, and open a wine bar. No, don't do it. But you should go visit at least once in your life. Le Marche, Italy's best kept secret. Now this region is one most people have never heard of. And hold on a second, because I'll get to a story about one of my first times I ever visited Italy that involves Marche. Le Marche, it's like if Tuscany, Umbria, and the Adriatic Sea had a secret love child. But unlike Tuscany, it's not overrun with influencers and overpriced farm stays. So you get white sandy beaches, hilltop villages, cucina povera, simple cooking, and silence. The kind of silence that makes you realize you've been overstimulated since birth. Le Marche, the wine is local, the view's epic, and your phone's probably on airplane mode because there's no signal anyway. Now, do you remember that story I said that I have about Marche and my first time to visit Italy? I think it was actually my second time. I was looking around for places to live, and yes, young Gregor Brown was considering living in Jesi, Jesi, home of Verdicchio wine and beautiful rolling hills. I checked it out, but I realized it wasn't for me, and I ended up on Lake Como instead, where I spent probably my first 10 years. And to think back, what could have been had I settled in Le Marche? Anyway, what to do? Well, go to the Riviera Conero, white cliffs, aqua turquoise blue water, coves. If mountains are more your thing, go to the Sibillini National Park. Beautiful hikes, beautiful views. Oh, the food, tagliatelle, an egg-based tagliatelle with la Aqualanga truffles. It has truffles, it's light, it's fluffy, it's delicious. Wash it down with some lacrima wine. You won't be crying because this wine is delicious. Now, do you remember earlier I said there was that one region, that one place I wanted to share with you at the start of this video? Well, it's actually several different regions, from the Dolomites to the south, Italy's boot, Puglia. I made a road trip 3,600 miles all across Italy and covered some of those areas we talked about earlier in this video. Southern Tuscany, the Adriatic coast, and Marche. But when I was driving, when I got behind the wheel, about midway through that journey, there was a lesson, a memory that hit me that now I think about every time I get behind the wheel in Italy. So I want you to watch this video next about those lessons I learned, the ultimate road trip driving across Italy. It was Italy unfiltered and unforgettable, and it made me fall in love with the country again. Check it out here next.